Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to learn chapter 3, Fiber to Fabric. Now, before going into the topic, let's see what are all the contents that resides within this chapter. First one is what are fabrics, second one is variety in fabrics, third one is fiber, fourth one is types of fiber, fifth one is spinning cotton yarn, sixth one is yarn to fabric, seventh one is history of clothing material. What are fabrics? Fabrics are materials used to make clothes. For example, look around your house. You can see different clothing materials like pillow covers, mats, bed sheets, curtains, sweaters, etc. All these materials are made out of different types of fabrics. In this chapter, we are going to learn the basic process of converting fiber into fabrics. Fiber is converted into yarn by spinning process, and then yarn is converted into fabric by weaving and knitting. In our previous topic, we saw what are fabrics and how to convert fiber into fabrics. In this slide, we will see the variety in fabrics. The first one is cotton, second one is silk, third one is wool, fourth one is synthetic. For example, if you go to a cloth store, you can see different varieties of fabrics. You can identify the fabrics by touching or feeling them. We differentiate fabrics based on their properties, like soft for cotton and smooth and shiny for silk. Now, in this picture, you can see a thread is being pulled from a fabric. It indicates that fabric is made up of one or more threads that are interconnected with each other. In the next picture, you can see an interconnection clearly. Here they have asked one question, is it continuous? For instance, if you look into a fabric at a longer distance, you can see it is continuous. Continuous means there isn't any holes present in the fabric. But since the fabric was made out of interconnected yarns, it is not continuous. Our next topic is fiber. What are fibers and where does it come from? Fiber is a long thin strand or a thread of a material. All clothes are made up of threads. So in general, material used for making clothes are known as fibers. For example, take a yarn or a thread of a material and scratch it with your nail. The yarn will split into thinner strands. Again, scratch the thinner strands with your nail. Thin strands of the thread that we see are made up of still thinner strands called fibers. From this, we conclude that fabrics are made up of yarns and yarns are further made up of fibers. Now, let's see where does this fiber comes from. Types of fibers. We get fibers from two different sources. One is natural source and the other was a synthetic source. From natural source, we have plants and animals. We get cotton and jute from plant source and wool and silk from animal source. From synthetic, we get polyester, nylon and acrylic. Natural plant fiber. Our first natural plant fiber is cotton. We get cotton from fruit of the cotton plant. The fruit of the cotton plant are called cotton balls. These cotton balls take 60 days to attain the maturity stage. After this, the cotton balls burst open when ripe. We then collect the cotton balls from the cotton plant. The collected cotton balls have seeds in it. Thus, cotton fibers are separated from the seeds by combing them. This process is called ginning. In olden days, the process was done by hand, but now it is done by machines. The major cotton growing places in India are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Haryana, Rajasthan, Punjab and Odisha. In order to cultivate cotton, we need black soil and warm climate. Moving on to our next one, we have jute. Jute is cultivated only during rainy season. We get jute from the stem of jute plants. Jute is normally harvested at its flowering stage. The harvested plants are then immersed in water for a period of 130 to 150 days for rotting. This process is called retting. After this stage, the fibers are then separated by hand. This process is called stripping. The major jute growing places in India are West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh. Natural animal fiber. Our first one is wool. We get wool from hair of sheep, goat, rabbit, yak and camel by the process of shearing. In shearing process, the hair is removed along with a thin layer of the animals. Wool fibers are used for making sweaters, blankets and gloves. Our next one is silk. We get silk from silkworms. To attain the larva stage, the silkworm covers itself with a cocoon. The cocoon is made out of silk fiber. To get the silk fiber, we boil the cocoon. Over 50,000 cocoons are needed to make 1 kg of silk. Synthetic fiber. Synthetic fiber are made from raw materials such as petrochemicals or petroleum-based chemicals. The main disadvantage of synthetic fiber is it melts before burning. So cloths made of such fibers stick to skin when in contact with the flame, causing burns. They are not comfortable to wear as they do not allow sweat to evaporate easily. Spinning cotton yarn. In our previous topic, we saw what are fibers and the types of fibers. Now we will see how to convert these fibers into a yarn. Fibers from a mass of cotton wool are drawn out and twisted. This brings the fiber together to form a yarn, and the process is called spinning. In olden days, takli and charka are the two devices used for making cotton yarn. Nowadays, machines are used for making cotton yarn on a larger scale. Yarn to fabric. Yarn is converted into fabric by two main processes. They are weaving and knitting. In weaving process, two sets of yarns are arranged together to make a fabric. Weavers weaving on a small scale use hand looms. On a large scale, cotton fabrics are made by big machines that run on electricity. These machines are called power looms. Knitting. A single yarn is used in knitting. Knitting has multiple active stitches on the needle at one time. History of clothing material. In early times, people used the bark and big leaves of trees and animal skins to cover themselves. After they settled in agricultural communities, they learned how to weave twigs and grass into mats and baskets. Animal fleece or hair were twisted together into long strands and woven into fabrics. In ancient Egypt, cotton as well as flax were cultivated near the Nile River and were used for making fabrics. In those days, stitching was not known. People simply draped the fabrics around different parts of their body. With the invention of sewing needle, people started stitching fabrics to make clothes. Stitched clothes have gone through many variations since this invention. Even today, sari, dhoti and lungi is used as an unstitched piece of fabric. This concludes our chapter. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. In our next video, we will see chapter 4, sorting materials into groups. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye.